everybody. Remember I told you when we were in our classroom last that the next time that you see Mrs. Kapanka, we would be at my house, and I took you into a special place at my house. This is called the Cozy Cabin, and I love to be down here. You know, all of our friends that come to preschool, this is where they live. So I thought we'll just have school down here in our Cozy Cabin. Well, first I want to talk to you about something called antiques. That's kind of a funny word, antique. But here's what it means. It means things that are kind of old. And Mrs. Kapanka likes things that are kind of old. And you're going to see some of those in my Cozy Cabin. The first one is this old desk. This actually used to be in a classroom a long, long time ago. It's about 100 years old. And then this is one of my favorite things. This is what teachers used to use a long, long time ago, and it's a chalkboard. This table was Mr. Kapanka's mommy's table when she was just a little girl. She used to have lots of tea parties here, and then she gave it to my girls, and my girls had tea parties. So I thought we'll use that table because it's special and it's an antique. And then this is not very old. This is my rocking chair from when I was a little girl. I used to sit just like you do in my house, and I used to read books in this rocking chair. Well, my goodness, one of my friends is sitting in my rocking chair. Who could that be? Well, let me see. He has a little tag here. His name is Paddington. Paddington, did you know that we were going to talk about the letter P today? Because Paddington jumped right in my chair, and that is the letter we're going to be talking about. Paddington was from a country far, far away called Peru, and he went to visit someone in London, England, and they put this little tag on him so he wouldn't get lost, and so everybody would know his name. He's kind of an old bear too. I got him about 25 years ago. Now Paddington is just a good friend that lives in the Cozy Cabin. Well, my goodness, let's look around. We have so many things in my Cozy Cabin that start with the letter P, just like the friends used to come to school. They're not coming to school right now. We're actually coming to see where they live. We all know who this is, old Pooh Bear. And Pooh Bear has a fun book. It's a honeybee counting book. Because we know Pooh Bear loves to count, but he also loves honey. Let's look over here. Here's the pig. He's a good little pig. And he has two books. If you give a pig a pancake, or if you give a pig a party. Here's another little Paddington. He's so cute. I like these guys too. They're pelicans. Aren't they funny? They kind of have long necks, but they make the puh sound, just like P makes the puh sound. Oh, and we have a pumpkin. And we have another Pooh right here. And we have penguins. Let's count our penguins. 1, 2, 3. It looks to me like those penguins are 3 different sizes. Oh, I think this penguin is the biggest. And then, whoops, stand up there, guy. And then there's this penguin. And then there's this guy, the littlest. Papa Penguin is first. Mama Penguin is second. And Baby Penguin is third. They're in a row, just like we used to line up at preschool in a row. And we had line leaders, and that was the first person in line. So here's our penguins. Well, just a minute. I'm going to scoot this chalkboard out because he doesn't really belong down here. And I'm going to bring over something I think you will recognize from my preschool classroom. I put it in my car and I brought it home because I thought, oh, we're going to need that if we have school at Mrs. Kapanka's house in her Cozy Cabin. Well, like I said, we're talking about the letter P. And P makes the P sound. Let's draw the letter P. If you have a paper and pencil at home, you can practice P at home. You just make a stick, and he just has one little head up here. You know what? Baby P looks just like its mummy, except it's littler. It goes down into the basement. Big P and Baby P. What color marker is Mrs. Kapanka using? A pink marker. Oh my stars. And I have a purple marker. Pink and purple make the P sound. I think we should look at my table because I have some other fun things to talk about. The first one that we're going to look at is in my Mickey Mouse glass, and that is peaches. P. Peach makes the P sound. Oh, those peaches are very good, and they're so healthy. Then I have 2 jars. Let me get a pickle out of this jar. Here's a pickle. Oops, that pickle keeps running away. I feel like I'm fishing. And here's another pickle. Let's get this pickle out too. Wow, these pickles are 2 different shapes. One pickle is called a spear. It's long, and the other pickle is a circle. Do you think these 2 pickles taste the same? Let's find out. You could try this at home too if you have pickles. Here we go. This pickle tastes sweet. That was a good pickle. It tasted kind of like the peaches. Now, let's taste this pickle. Woo! That pickle tastes very sour. I like those pickles when I'm eating a good hamburger. So this pickle is sour. This pickle is sweet. Can you find things at your house that taste sour and taste sweet? You might look for a pickle. Well, I think it's time for us to read a book that has to do with penguins. This is called The Penguin's Big Adventure. One day, Penguin had a big idea. He wanted to do something no penguin had ever done. He wanted to be the first penguin ever to set foot on the North Pole. Do you hear the P in pole? It is 12,436 miles away. Penguin planned, and he planned, and he packed, and he rolled up his adventure map, and he set off. But before his first mile, Penguin saw Emily sewing. "Well, this looks like a very nice quilt," said Penguin, "and the brightest one I've ever seen." Before Penguin reached his second mile, he saw his little brother. His name was Pumpkin. "Well, that is a fine basket, Pumpkin," said Penguin, "and the biggest basket I've ever seen." Right before his third mile, he saw Bootsy braiding the longest rope he had ever seen. "Can I help?" "Oh, I don't want to tie you up, Penguin. You have so far to go to the North Pole." Then Penguin set off for the other side of the world while his busy friends worked on their own world records. Penguin passed through his favorite places and visited with his old friends. He had a whale of a time. Our friend, Knitting Penguin. Finally, Penguin reached the North Pole. Penguin threw confetti, he turned cartwheels, and he put a penguin sign that said Penguin was here, right at the top of the North Pole. "Hooray, hooray, hooray," he shouted, and it echoed across the ice. Nobody answered him. Penguin was suddenly very lonely, and he was afraid. But he was not alone. Oh, Penguin had never seen a polar bear, and Polar Bear had never ever seen a penguin. It was scary. Penguin and Polar Bear smiled, and it wasn't so scary anymore. "Do you wear a black belt?" "Oh, no, I wear an orange scarf." "Do you have big, sharp teeth?" "No, but I do have one that might be coming in." Together they went on a North Pole adventure. They went whale watching, they built ice forts, and they explored the Arctic Sea. And they welcomed more visitors. Then it was time for the new friends to say goodbye. Penguin left Polar Bear his adventure map because he didn't need it anymore. Because the best part of having an adventure is coming home. Well, that was such a good story. Penguin's Big Adventure. Now I have something fun for us to do together. It's called a push-pause activity. What I would like you to do, first of all, is get a pencil and paper that makes the puh sound. Then back this lesson up to where Mrs. Kapanka begins reading the story. And then you're going to listen closely to the story. And when you hear what you think is the puh sound, you're going to draw a P right on your paper. Remember, you make the stick and then you give it a little head. And you can make a P right on your paper. So I'm going to read and let's see, just for a second. One day, Penguin had a big idea. Penguin, that makes the puh sound. I'm going to make a P on my paper. He wanted to do something no penguin had ever... another puh. He wanted to be the first penguin, another puh, to ever set foot on the North Pole. Wow! We had lots of P's in the first 2 pages of this book. So if you want to push pause right now, get your paper and pencil and rewind the story back to the beginning where Mrs. Kapanka is reading, and you can listen for the puh sound. Well, I hope you had fun doing that little activity and listening to that fun story again. Now we're going to talk about patterns, another P word. Pattern starts with the letter P. We have done patterns at school before. I think you remember because you guys were really good at doing patterns. Let's see, I have red dots and yellow. And then I'm going to do another red and another yellow. How about another red? And what should I do next? You got it, yellow. Sometimes we forget and we put 2 of the same color together. What do I need to do? Oh, I know. I need to move that yellow one over and put a red one here. Let's see if we got it right this time. Red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow. In a minute, we're going to do another push-pause activity, but let me show you what we'll need to gather first. Just a second, let's look down here. Well, Mrs. Kapanka has 2 different kinds of cereal. You could use M&Ms, you could use candies, you can use cereals, whatever you want to use. You get 2 different things that you can practice making a pattern. So, I have a Cheerio and a Golden Graham, a Cheerio and a Golden Graham, a Cheerio and a Golden Graham. The best part about using things like this is because I did such a good job, I get to eat them. Well, that was a very fun activity, and I hope you have some fun activities like that at home. It's time for us to go. Every day before we leave preschool, we always sing the same song. So I'm going to sing it to you, and would you join with me at home? Here we go. I'll see you on Friday, on Friday, on Friday. I'll see you on Friday. It's the next day of school, except it's going to be at our cozy little cabin. Bye-bye.